Hello, smart mathematicians. Let's do question 11. After traveling a distance of 20 kilometers from home, a person suddenly remembers that he did not close a tap in his garden. He decides to turn around immediately and return home to close the tap. The cost of water at the rate at which water is flowing out of the tap is 160 per hour. The cost of petrol is 1,2 plus x over 4,000 rands per kilometer, where x is the average speed in kilometers per hour. Calculate the average speed at which the person must travel home to keep his cost as low as possible. Right, let's go through the information again now. We have to highlight the key points here. So we want the cost to be as low as possible. So we must have the cost. Here we have the cost of two things, which is the petrol and the water. So now we have to come up with an equation that will combine the cost of petrol and the cost of water, isn't it? And then now we want to find, it says calculate the average speed at which the person must travel home to keep his cost as low as possible. It means the minimum cost. And then we're going to derive and equate our derivative to 0. Okay, remember the maxima and the minima. Right, let's go back to our information. After traveling a distance of 20 kilometers, so these 20 kilometers will affect the cost of petrol, isn't it? Because this is the rands, these are the rands per kilometer. Okay, and then a person suddenly remembers that he did not close a tap in his garden. He decides to turn around immediately and return home to close the tap. The cost of the water at the rate at which water is flowing out of the tap is 160 per hour. So now this one is per hour. So it means we need to get the time here. How can we get the time? We have the speed and we have the distance, isn't it? From distance and speed, we can get the time, isn't it? Right. And then the cost of petrol, we've discussed the cost of petrol here. So let's just have these two sets of data separately, then we're going to combine them. So let's start with the cost of petrol. Cost of petrol. Okay. So it's going to be what? Cost of petrol is going to be, let me write C. Okay. P for petrol, cost for petrol is going to be 20 times 1,2 plus x over 4,000 because the person traveled what? 20 kilometers. Okay, right. And then what about the cost of water? Right, is 160 per hour. So we need to get the time first. So time here, right, the time taken here is going to be distance over speed. So distance is 20, then speed is x. So it means time is 20 over x. And then, so it means the cost, let me use W for water, is going to be 160 times 20 over x. So now we have the cost for the petrol and the cost for water. So now what is the total cost? Okay, so we combine these two. This is the total cost is equal to 160 times 20 over x plus this part, which is 20, this one, 20 times 1,2 plus x over 4,000. So now we have our equation for the total cost. So now we have to derive this and equate it to 0. Right. Remember that for us to derive, it means our expression or our terms of the expression must be in the form A times x to the power n. So we have to make sure that we have our terms in this form first before we do anything. Right, let's simplify. So this is c to the power x is equal to 160 times 20, that is 32. So this is 32 over x plus 20 times 1 comma 2, that is 24. You can use your calculator here. 24, we're distributing the 20 here. Then 20, and then 4,000 here. 0, 0, and then you remain x over 200. Okay, you can use your calculator. Just say 20 divided by 4,000, you'll get 1 over 200. So it means this is plus 1 over 200 x, or x over 200. Okay, right. And then, but remember, I want us to write in this form where you have the coefficient and the power. So this is the total cost is equal to 32 times x to the power negative 1 plus 24 plus 1 over 200 x. Right. Now, can we derive? Yes, we can derive here. Okay, we can find the derivative. So let's find the derivative. C prime x is equal to negative 1 times 32, negative 32, x to the power negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Then the derivative of a constant is 0. So plus this 1 times 1 over 200 is 1 over 200. Then 1 minus 1 is 0. So we just remain with 1 over 200 here. Okay. All right. So at the minimum point, this derivative is equal to 0. So we're saying 0 is equal to, let me write it as a fraction to make our life easy, negative 32 over x squared plus 1 over 200. Then we can transpose this to the left hand side. 32 over x squared is equal to 1 over 200. And then we can cross multiply here. X squared times 1, that is x squared. And then 32 times 200, that is 6400. Okay, 6,400. And then we can find, you can use difference of two squares or just square root both sides. So x is equal to, we'll take the positive one because remember it's going to be plus or negative 80. So it's going to be 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, right, because here the negative will just be about direction, not the magnitude. So we just take the x is equal to 80 kilometers per hour. So that is the speed at which the person must move to keep his cost as low as possible. Okay, right. So that's what we're supposed to do there in question 11.